Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Chaos Child. We're back on the RV. And the bird's behaving. And what'd you give you shout-outs? You being very good? Yeah. Oh, you're making very pretty noises right now. You're being very, very good. I want you to know that. Yes, you are. You're being very, very good. Very polite. We appreciate that. Yes. Yes, we do. Good bird. I don't know if you can hear him chattering, but I know you're being so good. Sometimes I wonder if you scream. Or at one point he was like screaming like an asshole, and I was like, and then I look over and I'm like, huh. Neelix sits there sometimes and like eats peanuts and stuff, but then I see like peanut shells and stuff on the floor. I'm like, were you screaming because he was throwing peanuts at you? Like, I'm wondering, since there are times where all of a sudden things, and I'm like, are you throwing things? Are you just dropping things and it happens to be like on top of the little bird? Or are you throwing things at him? So then I'm like, maybe he's screaming because Neelix is throwing peanuts at him. But I'm like, fucking move then. Don't just sit there and take it. Don't scream. Move. Anyway. So it might be Neelix, but Neelix is my precious child and he could do no wrong. Like, I think I've seen him drop things. I'm like, did you just drop that because you were trying to play and you just, that's where you happen to be sitting? That's the side of the cage he likes to sit on because that's where his rings are and stuff. And then that just happens to be where Little Bird sits like a little bit lower, like on this ropey toy with his like mirror and stuff because it's facing the window. So I'm like, do you just happen to accidentally drop that and bean him with that? Or did you throw it at him? Like, I don't know. All the other bird has to do is move, though, instead of screaming. Whatever. Anyway, that night, I finally went back to the RV. But you're being good, and I am proud of you. Yui had finally calmed down and stopped being afraid at night. I know there are times where we're like, oh my god, we're screaming in the game. And I'm like, I'm not going to get mad at him for that. But we're just talking normal, and he screamed. I mean, you've heard it, so. If Dad, Caruso, and Yuto were there, she'd probably be fine. Her old friend Yuki was there, too. This place really does calm you down. I sat in the chair and booted up my PC for the first time in a long while. My inbox was overflowing with spam. It was strange. It always used to annoy me, but now I felt like proof that I've returned to my old life. Okay, thanks guys. Of course I deleted them all immediately, but they didn't piss me off like they used to. That's what I need. The bird screaming is just reaffirmation that I'm alive. That's what I need to think of it as. Thanks for being obnoxious. Like, no. Thank you for being a good boy. Oh no, he's cleaning himself, so. Now then. Come to think of it, I'd forgotten because of everything that happened, but Ken had just sold me the latest edition of Cool Cat Press, and I hadn't touched it at all. I took it out from its hiding spot under my desk and started to flip through the pages. Felt like forever since I'd done that too. How much can you get away with in your first month with a girl? French kissing? Or is deep kissing okay? What's the... You know what? I don't want to know. Never mind. What's the difference, though? What? How deep are you go? What are you... Never mind. Hey. Oh, no, what do you think? Ah! I almost fell out of my chair. Sarika was standing behind me, looking over my shoulder. I think it doesn't really matter what month it is, you know? No. When did you get in here? Your door wasn't locked. Crap. I've been so busy reading that I hadn't noticed Sarika. This is so funny. Don't just come in. Knock at least. Oh, but I didn't think you'd like it if I knocked. Huh? I thought it might scare you. Coming in and creeping on me scared me too. You could just call out, hello, and then knock. She was right. If I heard knocking now, it might be bad for my heart. She might look like an airhead, but the nice thing about Sarika was you could always count on her to remember things like that. She already knows about your weird magazines, but... Listen, okay? I know I've said this before, but this book is something Gen forces me to buy. I'm not buying it because I want to. Just remember that. I put my Cool Cat Press back under the desk in a very cool manner. Okay, got it. I won't tell Non, okay? Wait, that's not what I just said. So what about you, Taku? What? How much can you get away with when it comes to kissing? I don't know. I've never even kissed a girl. Huh? Sarika suddenly pursed her lips unhappily. Taku, you forgot. Forgot what? You had it with me. Your, well, first kiss. What? I literally leaped out of my chair. What, when you were like 8? I kissed Sarika? When? Where? How? Why? According to Kenji, Minamikata. Okay. According to Kenji Minamikata's column in Cool Cat Press, a girl's first kiss is more important to her than losing her virginity. Is it, though? Maybe. Neither one was that important, to be honest. You think it is, like, oh, I want to kiss before I'm sweet 16, never been kissed, and then you're like, okay, this is weird, and then the first time you have sex, you're like, why am I doing this? Neither one was really that. I mean, you remember them, I guess, but, like, you don't, like, remember them fun. You're not like, oh, you're like, okay, yeah, that happened. Anyway, moving on. I don't know. And that's why a guy who didn't remember his first kiss was a terrible man, he'd said. Crap! I was sweating, unable to remember a thing, but Sarika just laughed. Well, I forgive you. It was when we were in preschool. Wait, it was that long ago? Don't scare me like that. And anyway, kisses in preschool didn't count, probably. When I told her so, Sarika looked upset again. Anyway, what are you doing here? I thought you went home. Yeah, but I got a little lonely, so I came to see you. Did you? Or are you trying to stab us now? I don't know. Look, I don't trust anybody anymore. Huh? You know, we've been together all the time lately, right? Of course, I didn't like it when the scary woman was after us, but we all worked together and overcame it, you know? If Nan heard me say this, she'd get mad, so keep it a secret, but I was pretty excited. I see. What about you? Me? I don't know. I'm not sure. Sarika's getting a little close to us. What's happening? She suddenly leaned over, right on top of me, and reached a hand toward my computer. The sensation on my back was soft and warm. I didn't know how to react whenever she did something like this. Hey, you're heavy. Get off. I'm not heavy. You're so rude. She's like literally pressing her breast against you, and you're like, oh my god, get off of me. And she's like, okay, well. Her white fingers gripped the mouse, and she started to move it around. I know I said this in the club room, but I want a new case to research. Oh, what about this? Sarah opened a site for explorers of abandoned buildings, a popular genre. Most of the articles were about people going into abandoned villages, factories, and mines. Bankrupted, empty amusement parks and department stores were also popular. They'd write essays and upload photos. Some sites would also write about bloody urban legends involved in the abandoned buildings, or upload photographs with ghosts in them. Stuff's all been done. Also, going into abandoned buildings is illegal. I don't think we could do it as a school club. Aw, that sucks. I mean, it is. You'd think, you're like, why? It shouldn't be. But then if it was legal, everyone would be going in and then they wouldn't really be abandoned and that the fun of it would be gone, right? But also, like, how many fucking people would get hurt? Like, that's why. Sarika moved away from me and then lay down in the RV's bed. But, like, good on you if you want to go into a scary place that's abandoned and almost die. But, like, put up the pictures and shit, because that's, like, fun to look at. Like, I never really thought about looking at those pictures, but, like, I've seen, like, some people, like, wasn't there, like, there was a documentary or something, and like, I don't know, it was on something. I remember watching something about abandoned malls and stuff like that, but it's like, you know, and you go in and it's like, this is spooky and weird, and like, but like, people who do that go in abandoned buildings stuff. There was a game, an Otome game. I did play it for you guys, but then that was back when my computer hard drive crashed and I lost so much shit. And that was the game we lost, because I had recorded the whole thing. It was a relatively short game. But that was it. We were like, we'd sneak into abandoned buildings and stuff, and that was part of, like, it was good, but what the hell can I remember what it was called? Anyway, yeah, that sucks, but that train of thought jumped tracks, and then rolled the fuck off a bridge. I don't know where it went, but anyway, Sarika moved away from me and then lay down on the RV's bed. And she yawned loudly. Hey, don't sleep there. I turned around, but her eyelids were already closed. That was fast. She wants you to sleep with her. I quickly stood up and shook her shoulders. Wow, I clicked that before I finished reading. Hey, if you're sleepy, then go home and sleep. I'm staying over tonight, so it's fine. What are you talking about? Where am I supposed to sleep? It's okay. I'm tiny, so we can sleep together. She is really hitting on us hard, huh? We cannot. Just as I grabbed her by the arm and tried to lift her up. Huh? My phone started to vibrate in my backpack. It kept going, so it probably wasn't an email or a text, but a phone call. I had no choice but to leave Sarek on the bed while I went to answer it. I looked at the screen and saw the call was from Ito. Now what? Did he find some new case for us? I answered the phone. Hello? What's up, Ito? Did you see Atchan? His voice was tense and anxious. Atchannel? Just look at it. Any of the new generation threads is fine. What's going on? I walked over to my PC, confused, and opened Atchannel. I decided to start by opening the news board. There were quite a few threads about the original and current new generation madness incidents. Huh? I couldn't believe my eyes. The page was filled with the names Senri Minamisawa and Riko Haida. And I could see the words burnt to death here and there, too. Did the police go public with her name? Who you think fucking did if they didn't? Kunasato. No, you can tell if you read it, but the information seemed to leak from somewhere. It leaked? Kunasato. Riko Haida, killer behind... Oh, never mind, hold on. I opened up a thread and saw that, yes, the police were still remaining silent, but there was the picture Arimura and I had seen of her on the security camera and a photo of her when she was a student. And there was a ton of weird information on Senri Minamisawa with no source even given. Some of it said... What the hell is this? Oh my god. This is an old photo. That's... Huh. Was it Kawahara that did it? But why would he know about it? Was it Kurusu? Is she the one trying to kill us all? This is security footage. So, but the thing is Arimura had that security footage. You know, someone could have hacked her phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the psychic could have gotten it, like, whatever. And when she deleted it, but then how'd they get that photo? But see, the thing is in that photo, she's got red eyes. And in her ID photo, she had red eyes. And Riko had blue eyes. I'm just saying, that's just a weird discrepancy that I think is, like... You know what I mean? Like, that to me is like, I don't think it's the same person. Like, anyway. Did you find it? Goddamn wrong siders. They're just posting crap without even bothering to see if it's right. I was angry because I saw Kurusu and Kawahara's names mixed in with the information on Senri Minamisawa. The first idiot who posted was probably an old classmate of theirs. The three of them were friends, and always together. That information had nothing to do with the case. What were they thinking? Just Senri and her buddies will kill you. Oh my god. And the irresponsible comments that came after were even worse. Another thread said that Minamisawa had once lived in Aoba dorm, and that Kurusu visited her every day in her condo. This was crazy. There were even a few morons saying that Kurusu was an accomplice to the murders because she'd helped Senri Minamisawa stay hidden, and that the police were coming to arrest her. Oh my god, she didn't... That was probably why her phone number had shown up on an interview site. Interview site? Interview. Here refers to the act of someone on the internet calling an individual or group for an unsolicited telephone interview, used when someone or some group has done something wrong and internet users call them en masse to question them or complain. It's like doxing. Supposedly done out of a sense of justice or righteous anger, but in fact, many people do this for fun or because everyone else is doing it. Okay, good. Do we get to read this? I want to read it. Come on. She's got buddies? Of course, a girl couldn't do this all on her own. Sounds like she came from a religious orphanage. The people in the photo in 248 were friends there. Seems like they're all doing this together. Crazy Girls is talking about Orphanage 252 mentioned. They're making calls already. Way to go, Crazy Girls. Lol. Call here, Ioba Clinic. Oh my god. That girl in the photo with Semri's totally my type. The cute girl's a killer. That's fucking Ito. Just kidding. I'm trying. God damn it. When I saw that Kurdusu's graduation photo was upgraded along with Senri's, I slammed my fist down onto the desk. The case is finally over, so why is this happening? I wanted to read the page. What's going on, Taku? Sarika jumped up when she heard me yell. I'm hanging up, Ito. I'll call Kurusu. No, I tried, but it didn't work. She turned off her phone. Ugh. I hit my computer's power button and quickly headed for the door. Fine, I'll go to Ioba Dorm myself. Yeah, I'll go too. See you there. Ito hung up as well. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, but I need you to stay here. What? No! Something happened with Nan, right? Take me too! Take me too, because then I can't keep up on what's going on and kill you all. I'm involved. I don't know. I'm saying she just seems sus. She's probably not at all, but I'm just saying because she's so nice and she's so helpful and she seems a little airheaded, but she's smarter than she looks. Yeah, that's because she's trying to kill us all. All I'm saying. If she turned out to be the killer, I'd be like, I told you. She's fucking like, she's been hiding, playing dumb this whole time. Sarika followed after me as I ran out the door. I didn't have a choice, so the two of us ran toward Ioba Dorm. There were already several strange vans parked outside the dorm when we got there. Some people were already wandering around outside with video cameras. It's the mainstream media. They're here already? Screw them! As I got close to Ioba Dorm, I could feel several sets of eyes on me. Hey, can I talk to you? Do you two live here? Several men who appeared to be reporters started to surround us. I'm sorry, what? Do you live here, I said. No, please let me through. Then are you a friend? Do you know a girl named Nono Kurusu? No. I decided to lie. If I told them I knew Kurusu, I figured I wouldn't be able to take another step. Then does the name Senri Minamisawa mean anything to you? Did you see it on the internet? She's supposedly a serial killer. I really don't know anything. We just came to Ioba Clinic to get some medicine. Then I grabbed Sarika's hand and started to run. I shook off the hands that tried to grab at me and rang the bell for Ioba Clinic, not Ioba Dorm. I could hear several frustrated noises behind me. Maybe it was just because the police hadn't made their announcement yet, but even the media didn't seem to want to step on the clinic's property. Probably be considered trespassing. Soon I heard someone on the other side of the door. It's me. Onoe's here too. I whispered, and the door opened. I slid inside, and the door was quickly closed again. Hey, welcome back. Dad was standing in the front lobby, chuckling. Good evening, Dr. Sakuma. It seems like things are getting really rough. Yeah, this has never happened before, so I'm not sure what to do. Dad scratched the back of his head. I mean, I don't think anybody else would know what to do either, buddy. What's Kurusu doing? It'd be kind of mean to say I find this surprising, but she's pretty depressed. That's rare for her. I'd figured that Kurusu was like any other girl. She was either scared or depressed after what happened. But it hurt to hear that a strong-willed girl like her was down. Go see her. It'll probably cheer her up a bit. Yeah. Okay. Sarika and I ran up the stairs to the dorm. By the way, Ito's coming too. It's okay. I could see her sitting in the dining table with her head drooping down. And past her, hiding in the kitchen, Yui and Yuto were looking on, worried. There was a cold cup of English breakfast tea on the table, and Yuki was pacing around, wondering if she should make a new one. I'm back. Hello. They all looked relieved to see me. Brother Takeru, Sarika, I'm glad you came. Yeah. I waved to Yui a little, then tried to talk to Kurusu. You okay, Kurusu? Kurusu slowly looked up as if she'd only just now realized we were here. Her tone made it obvious that she was trying to hide her shock. You came because you were worried? Thanks. Yeah, Ito says he's coming too. I see. Why not sit down instead of just standing there? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Sarika and I sat across from her. Yuki quickly brought us some tea. See, this is where Kazuki would be great. Because I bet anything, because she's normally like, she would like punch a wall, and then she would go out there, and all of a sudden, what the fuck you think you're doing here? Get the fuck out of here! And she'd just like scream at them, and they'd be like, did she just talk? Yeah, but with a weird Irish accent. You know what? But she was talking, right? Screaming at them? Like, swearing and cussing them out. It'd be great. That's what I want to see happen. It'd be fucking amazing. Anyway. Yuki quickly brought us some tea. I'm so pissed that she doesn't talk. I like the fact she doesn't talk. It's kind of funny, but I'm also mad about it. Because, like, I want her to talk. Kurusu, shall I make you some new tea? No, I'm fine, thanks. Kurusu smiled and politely refused. Yuki looked a little sad. This is literally like... this is how it feels when someone dies. You know what I mean? That just, like... that weirdness. Because, like... that person, like, that's your grandmother or your mom or your sister or somebody who just lost their husband or their child or something, right? And you are like, it's your family member too or your friend, but you're like, it's not the same, but you still feel like, this is awkward. What do you say? What do you do? And then there's always people around and you're like, we got to keep it quiet. And then like, no, there's not like news media, but you know what I mean? Like, there's always people, and there's all these people that are there to just be like, oh, hey, sorry about that. And you're like, I don't know how to deal with it. And it's just, and it's just the weird heaviness and the weight. And that person is just, because like something is just broken that you can never fix again. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you're like, oh, yeah, Or like this would be like, you know, you had a celebrity friend that died and then the news is all around you or the murder or something. And you're like, and then life will never be the same. This is not just I can go and pretend things are normal. No, because the news is outside and like, it is something that is irreparably broken that can never be fixed now because there's so much shit going on. This is not like, and it was already almost in that spot with poor Kurusu. Like, again, she's not my favorite character, you know? I feel like I would sympathize with her more if I wasn't, like, irritated with her to begin with before we got to all of her back stuff. Again, I know why she is the way she is, but it doesn't change. It's not like, oh, everything. It's like, I do feel for her. I just feel like if I liked her a little bit more in the beginning, I'd have felt a little bit more for her. You know, if it was Sarika or Kazuki, even though Kazuki never says anything. But a different character, you'd be like, oh, I'd feel more than I do. But, like, that's beside the point. That's just me personally. But, like, for her, like, she lost her friend when she was little and she's all worried about this. And then you're like, your friend's not dead. And she's like, oh. She's like, wait, what? And you're like, oh, but she's a serial killer and she's trying to fucking burn me to death. And she's like, are you sure? And that's hard enough to deal with. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, never mind. She's dead now. What? Like, on one hand, you're glad because your family isn't going to be burned to death and tortured. But on the other hand, you're like, my friend that was dead that I was sad about is like alive. And then I want to be happy she's alive, but I'm sad because she's a serial killer trying to kill my family. And now she's dead, which I'm happy about, but also sad about. I'm like, it's a weird fucking place. And then now this shit, like, y'all's got it rough. But there's nothing you can say to her in this situation. Like, it'll be okay. No, it won't. It'll never be okay again. Like, all these people, all this is out there. It's on the internet and everyone's going to blame. And there's always going to be people like, oh, you're that girl who knew that even if it's like, whoa, that was all bullshit. She might have known her as a kid, but she had no idea who she was. She never went to her college. None of that. Even if they, like, someone out there is going to be like, oh, yeah, sure. That's what the cops said, but we don't believe it. Because people are fucking idiots. You know what I mean? So it's going to haunt her for the rest of her life. Like, fuck. She gonna develop psychic powers and go fucking crazy. Anyway. Hey, Kurusu? Yeah? Don't let it get to you too much, okay? Like, that's the best we can do. Don't let it get to you. But at the same time, it really is the best we can do. Like, what do you say? You know, there's not much you can say in this situation. Everybody on that channel has the attention span of a 3-year-old. They'll all probably have forgotten it within the month. So if you can just get through that... No, that's not what bothers me. You don't care what they say about me. But I can't forgive them for doing this to the people I care about or to Alba Dorm. Her voice was shaking with sorrow. It's going to turn into rage in a minute. Yui and Yuto ran from the kitchen and grabbed onto her from both sides. Big sis, no, we're fine. I'm fine, just fine. I'm fine too. Yuto, Yui. But if they bully you at school, that won't bother me. And if anybody tries to bully you, they'll have to deal with me. Kurusu's eyes were wet with tears. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why are you apologizing? You didn't do anything wrong. That's right. You don't have anything to apologize for, Non. Everybody rushed to defend her, but that only seemed to make it worse. Looking at her made me feel angry. Where had the information leaked from? And why would information come out that made her look like an accomplice, just because she was an old friend of a serial killer? It didn't make sense. It was crazy. Well, people always want to do that. Like, all of a sudden, they're like, you knew that serial killer. You must have known. You do realize that serial killers sometimes are actually fucking, and like, really smart. And, like, I'm just average. So you really think that I could tell that they were a serial killer when they're really good at convincing people that they're decent human beings? Like, you know? I'm just saying. Like, huh? And then I realized that something was wrong. I've been so shocked by what had happened that I hadn't had time to think about it, but this doesn't make any sense at all. At Channel was always looking for a new target to make a fuss over, and Senri Minimasawa fit the bill perfectly. But had there really been enough time for them to start focusing on Kurusu and on Obadorm? Even for At Channel, that was weird. It's like somebody set this up. As soon as I had the thought, I froze. Someone set this up? Were they after Kurusu? Or maybe Obadorm? But why? Who would do that, and for what? Serica? What could they gain by going after Caruso or Albadorm? Damn it! It doesn't make sense! I took the phone out of my pocket and dialed a number. Taku? What's wrong? Everyone looked at me, surprised. I motioned for them to be quiet and stood up. I needed to move somewhere I wouldn't be overheard so as not to worry Kurusu more. I hurried to my own room, then focused on the sound of the ringing phone. Come on, pick up. Pick up. After a long time, there was finally an answer. Oh, Miyashiro. Good, I was just about to call. Shinjo was just in as much of a hurry as I was. I cut him off and yelled, "Why is this weird information getting out?" Is this about what's on the internet? The Cybercrimes Division is handling it, so just give us some time. More importantly, the police didn't leak it. That's what we're trying to find out. Shinjo sounded a little upset. He probably didn't want to think that any of his colleagues had leaked important information. Did anybody ask Kunosato? Because I'm just saying, she would be my first guess. It seems kind of obvious, so maybe it's not her because it seems obvious, but I'm just saying. More importantly, where are you? Alba Dorm, why? Good, listen to me carefully. Your lives are in danger. Huh? Our lives are in danger? Both we and you have made a terrible mistake. Ironically, the leak on the internet is what cleared it up. A mistake? The pyrokinetic that attacked you in Arimura... That wasn't Senri Minimasawa. What? My eyes went wide as I stood there in shock. Oh, okay, wait, hi. Are any of you shocked? Are we shocked? No. Well, okay, wait. Maybe if what he's going to say is the body we found belonged to somebody else and it wasn't her and Rika / Senri is still out there. That would be what I wasn't expecting. But if he's like, it was the body of Rika and she's the one with the pyrokinetic powers, but you know what I mean? Then maybe, but we'll see. My grip on my phone tightened. It wasn't Senri Minimasawa. Oh, you know what would make sense? She had the rebar. Well, They said she always... Well, she's also wearing gloves, isn't she? But anyway. No, I was just thinking is like maybe she showed... They were like, oh, there she is. And she hides. She was the I was thinking then she went in, killed Rika with the rebar, and then was just using her place until then, and Rika died weeks before. But then again, they've seen her on the camera multiple times. She hides her face because she's been living there for a while. So anyway, we'll see. That's right. And then who was it? Riko Haida. I told you they weren't the same. Okay, that's exactly what I said. Riko is the girl that burned us. Senri is not. Huh? Wasn't that an alias? Yes, that's what we thought. That the Riko Haida identity was false and being used as an alias. But we found several comments online from people saying they actually knew her. At first, we thought that they were fake, but we used the comments to track down the place where she supposedly grew up and had the local police check it out. And we discovered that Riko Haida really exists. What? The dental work on the body in the condo matches the records at our local dentist perfectly. There's no doubt about it. The pyrokinetic that we thought was Senri Minamisawa was actually Riko Haida, a completely different person. So maybe Senri is actually the person that's trying to kill us. And she was controlling Riko? And that's why the fires were all there? And I mean, that's possible. But then again, why is she after us? Because we didn't help her? Like, bitch, we were 6. The fuck do you want from... Okay, we were 11. But bitch, what do you want from an 11-year-old? Wait a second. I moved the phone away from my ears so I could think for a second. Told you their eyes were different colors. Blue eyes. I found you. That's the only thing I remember saying, so. That woman wasn't Senri Minamisawa? Then did the real Minamisawa die in the Shibuya earthquake, like Kurusu said? And why did she come after us? I'd never known a woman named Riko Haida. I never met her or even heard the name before. I couldn't think of any reason why she'd come after me. What was she doing with Senri Minamisawa's ID card then? I couldn't think straight. I kept coming up with new questions. Hello? Miyashiro, are you there? Yes. I put the phone back to my ear when I heard the panic in his voice. We just got the forensics results back on Riko Haida's death. She died somewhere between early morning and afternoon on October 23rd. Interesting. We saw her on the 23rd, but did we? Okay, that's the thing. We were hiding from her, right? In the cafe, quote unquote, we saw her coming up the stairs, we heard her, whatever. But we were already in a delusion at that point, right? So that makes sense. And now we know whoever was actually after us put that into Yui's head. So that we would be like, oh, Riko's after us. But Riko wasn't. I see. Because that always seemed weird to me, like, we're all alone. No one was there. But yet we saw Riko, and I was like, well, how the fuck is she there unless she's involved? And I was like, was she even real? But then she came to the dorm, and I was like, thinking to myself, I don't think I said it all out, but I was like, well, maybe we hallucinated her because we were afraid of her, like, whatever. But maybe she actually showed up at the dorm. But she didn't. That was a hallucination or a delusion that the actual killer put in Yui's head. So that Yui would see this girl describe her and we'd be like, yeah, it was Riko, and even though she was already dead. Nice. Cool. I like this. This is good. October 23rd. That's right. By the time she was already dead. Oh, by that time she was already dead. But I was attacked at the cafe on the night of the 23rd. Kunosada's theory is that it wasn't Riko Haida herself who attacked you. It was probably another psychic who created a delusion of Riko Haida that you saw. It's the only explanation. Another psychic? I felt a cold, sticky sweat on my forehead. It's Yui. Another psychic. That's the person who's done all the killing. I'd suspected it many times, but in the end I discarded the possibility. That's why I thought this was all over. Riko Haida's head was badly damaged, so it took time to find out, but her brain shows the same enlargement as the other victims. She was probably mind-controlled into stabbing herself with that rebar and setting herself on fire. The method matches the other victims. And then the real killer slew Riko Haida, who was a psychic, on the 23rd. Yes, right on schedule. Which means I was too scared to say what came next. Shinjo said it for me. The return of the new generation madness didn't end on the 23rd. The murders aren't over at all. Today was October 28th. If the murders weren't over... Be careful, Miyashiro. They're probably after one of you. I felt like every hair on my body was standing up on end. I imagined a hand reaching out from somewhere and putting a cold blade to my neck. Shinjo, what do we do? Just don't be alone right now. I'm sending an officer. I'm going to Artimura's house to keep her safe. Then I'll head to where you are. Understood? Right. Thank you. I hung up, jammed the phone in my pocket, and ran out of the room. My legs were trembling, and I almost tripped several times. It's Serica. Serica's going to kill us. You're not going to find out who does it, though, like, in this, because this might end, like, when we get to chapter 11 or whatever. Like, we're obviously going to survive the night, because, like, whatever. But it's going to end. I don't know how it's really going to go, but I have a feeling that this will just kind of, like, end, and you'll be like, nothing happens, you don't go into any route, and then you have to choose a route to go down. Like, and then you go down and do certain choices to get, or maybe you get to, at that point, choose? I don't know how you choose the routes. Because I don't think this, like, you're choosing positive, does anything. Because I did look, when I looked at the guide, and because I didn't read through it fully because I didn't want to spoil anything. So I feel like I saw something that was like, okay, there's an end, and then you choose the routes, because there was a recommended order. But, like, I looked at, like, Artimura's, right? And it was like, to get her bad ending, do all your delusions negative, the good ending, do all them positive or whatever. And, like, some of them there aren't, but I think that's in their route. I don't think these pre ones matter. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. But, like, I mean, I'm guessing maybe you choose a character? Because there was no way with the delusions that you would know which way you're going, you know? And then there is, like, a true ending. So I feel like you're going to go down all these routes. It's going to be the same thing with other games. You get pieces, you get pieces, and then you get the real ending, and then you find out who really did it. I'm just still saying, I mean, it could be Serica, because she's not a character that we can choose. So, I think you can choose Artimura, Kurusu, Kazuki, and I think Yamazoe is actually one. So, I'm just saying, Kunosada really could be after us. I thought there were 5, but I guess the 5th one technically is the true ending, and I don't think that's a character, so. Anyway. When I got to the dining room, Kurusu and Serica were folding everyone's laundry. If I'm not doing something, I'm just starting to think bad things. Kurusu forced herself to smile as she looked at me. But she must have seen the look on my face, because her smile faded instantly. Okay, so, like, good news and bad news. The good news is that Senri Minamisawa isn't the person who was trying to kill us, and she may or may not have actually died in the earthquake, but she didn't try to kill us with fire, and she's not really dead. But the bad news is that the person who did try to kill us with fire actually died on the 23rd. So the new generation madness isn't over, and we could all potentially die tonight. Cool? Coffee? Tea? Like, anybody? Cupcake? Maybe? I'm gonna run down to the street. Nothing? I mean, there's a ton of newspaper. Oh, there's a lot of people who could see delusions, though, now. There's a lot of people around. They said don't be alone. Are you sure? Well, I can't be alone because then I can't use my power. But I'm just saying. Anyway. What's wrong? Taku? Where are the others? I couldn't see Yui, Yuto, or Yuki. They're helping Dr. Sakuma. The clinic's closing for today, so they went downstairs to clean. I see. Dad had probably figured that with all the media outside, he wouldn't get any work done today, so he must have decided to close up early. I looked out the curtain and saw that the street was filled with vans. None of them showed any signs of leaving. But whether this was fair or not, even though I'd hated them a moment ago, I now felt glad they were there. With this many people, no matter who they were, the killer wouldn't be able to get to us easily. They made you think you were alone. Well. I went to close the curtain and saw that there was some kind of commotion going on outside. The window glass was too thick for me to hear, but something must have happened while I was on the phone. Open the window. Oh, no, wait. Take care of Kurusu. Don't leave her side for a second, no matter what. Huh? Okay. Takeru, if something happened, tell me. I will in a bit. Anyway, I'm counting on you, Onoe. Okay. I'm so good at being perky and happy, and I'm just going to stab everyone. I don't know. Look, I'm just... I always wanted to be either us secretly killing people. Like, we were the killer all along. I was secretly trying to kill people? Weird. I didn't know that about myself. It's my split personality. Or, like, the nice, sweet, like, Sarika, like, sweet and innocent little, like, puppy face, and you want to pat her on the head, and she's stabby. Like, come on. These two weren't psychics, so they were probably safe, but it was best to be sure. I ran down the stairs to the clinic. I could see Yuki and Yuto cleaning the equipment in the exam room. Where's Dad and Yui?
Dad's outside fighting with the media.
Fighting?
Yes, someone was trying to take photos through one of the clinic's windows, so he got mad and went outside.
I listened carefully, and sure enough, I could hear Dad arguing with what sounded like a reporter. You okay, little attack helicopter? He just goes, when he flies. It's so loud. Is Yui with Dad?
Huh? Sis?
Yuto and Yuki look confused.
She just went to find you, didn't she?
Oh god, she's dead. What? Yui went to find me? No, I didn't see her. Oh my god, that would be awful. What?
But I saw her go upstairs to the dorm.
That's impossible. I turned around and ran back up the stairs to the dorm. Yui, where are you? Yui? But I couldn't find her no matter where I looked. Oh my god, if they kill our little sister, that's gonna be awful. She wasn't in her room or the bath or the toilet. I looked everywhere. They took her. After I looked everywhere I could, I finally decided to check the dorm's emergency exit and shivered as I saw that the inside latch was undone. It's always locked. Did she go outside? Why? I could feel my heart pounding with terror as I ran back into the clinic. She's not there.
That's impossible. Ito just came.
Ito?
Yes, and she went upstairs with Ito.
She was with Ito, right? She wasn't alone?
Yes?
I see. I breathed a small sigh of relief. If it was just Yui, she might have been in danger, but if she wasn't alone, it wouldn't be as easy for someone to attack her. But aren't we concerned that they saw Ito and then was he there? Anyway, I'll call him. As I took up my phone, Sarika and Kurusu came into the room. They were worried. They looked even more worried when I told them that Ito and Yui had vanished.
Ito and Yui?
Where did they go? Would Ito have taken her? No, wait, no! I had faith in you! It was supposed to be Sarika! Hello, Ito? Oh, Miyashiro. Where are you? Just heading back from the convenience store. We did some shopping. Ito's voice was the same as ever. Where's Yui? Is she with you? She's right next to me. I see. Oh my god. I felt relieved, but screamed into the phone anyway. If you're going to the store, then tell someone! And don't take Yui! Everybody was worried! Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Anyway, just hurry back. Yui might be in danger. Oh, don't worry about that. If something happens to Yui, I'll do an operation to fix her right up. Huh? My mouth hung open for a second. An operation? What the hell was he talking about? And then I realized that I could hear muffled moans next to him. Hey, Ito, is that Yui's voice? What are you doing? You know, I always wanted to be a doctor like Dr. Sakuma. Did you know that? I said, what are you doing? This knife I bought at the convenience store doesn't really cut that well. This is probably gonna hurt. Oh, what is happening? Ito, stop joking. Put Yui on the phone, now! Miyashiro, could you bring me a knife and some anesthesia real quick? Also, you got that saw thing that cuts bones? I feel bad using this on Yui. He hung up. Yui? Yui! What's going on? Yui? I pushed the call button again and again with shaking fingers. But he must have turned off his phone because he didn't pick up. What's going on? Why is Ito? What? You're right. Where are you? Oh, you're fine. Okay. You flapped around, so my mind couldn't keep up with this. It was too much to believe. I know my mind can keep up with this. Oh my god, what? We're not going to find out in the next 15 minutes.
Dakuru, what happened to Yui?
I heard what sounded like a scream.
Big brother Dakuru?
I suddenly felt like I was about to throw up. I shoved my face into the sink and tossed up everything I had in my stomach. It was like I was vomiting up hate, fear, and despair, and no matter how much I tried, it wouldn't stop. Despair, because, you know, this is a Danganronpa game. I can't hear that, like, anything about hope and despair without being like, it's like Danganronpa all over again. It's like a trigger now. Anyway.
Are you okay, Takuru?
When I'd thrown up so much that there wasn't even stomach fluid left, I turned around to see Kurusu behind me. Kurusu, the phone. Call Shinjo.
Huh?
Yui's gonna be killed.
She's like, she's right there.
I'm just wondering what part of this is a delusion. I let Kurusu handle getting in touch with Shinjo and ran out of the emergency exit to the dorm. Yui, where are you? Answer me, Yui! My voice echoed down the rows of houses. Some nearby reporters ran over. What's wrong? Did something happen? Did someone just leave this way? Huh? A boy about my size and a girl a little younger. Did you see them? Oh, those two? I tried to interview them and they ignored me. Which way did they go? That way, I think? I ran in the direction he pointed to without stopping or looking behind me. Hey, you! I could hear them asking what happened, but I didn't have time to tell them. Fucking find them! Make yourselves useful and find them! Yui! Ito! Where are you? I ran, screaming the names of my little sister and best friend. It hurt to breathe, but I couldn't stop running. My only thought as I ran were of Yui's safety and Ito's strange behavior. Ito, why? What are you doing? His tone had been the same as ever. It was the exact same tone he used when he was laughing about the latest weird school gossip. So why would he do that to Yui? I know why! Game, why? It had to be some kind of mistake. Because Ito wouldn't... No, wait. And if there was another killer, they should have done something on the 23rd since Senri Minamisawa didn't, right? But nothing happened, which means it's impossible, I think. Was Ito really? Really? Let's just give it up. I think it's hard on the vice president. That's when I gave up on the idea of there being another psychic. Ito used Kurusu to keep me from really having time to think. Then he took that important note down and threw it away. And that was deliberate? The more I thought about it, the more unbelievable it seemed. But like, we're only in chapter 8. Ito, what? You're supposed to be at the end when we get the true ending, not now. Yui, Ito. How long had I been running? And why did Arimura not know that he was lying the whole time? You know what I mean? My throat was dry and it stunk. If he's actually like actually really a psychic, why would Arimura not have known that, like, wait, you can see it too, I know you can. You know what I mean? She would know he was lying. But then again, I guess maybe if he's just like, what's happening? Is that really a lie if you say that and you know what's happening? Like, when she whipped out her sword and everyone's like, what's going on? And like, nobody else could see it, right? If you could see it, right? And you're standing in front of Arimura and she's got her sword out and you're like, what's going on? Like, what's happening, guys? What? Is she going to be able to sense that you're lying and you can see it? Because you're not really making a statement or anything. You're like, you're asking, what's happening? I may know what's happening, but that doesn't mean that I'm lying if I say what's happening, right? That's not a lie. It's a question. So, like, interesting. Interesting. But nothing he ever said struck her as being a lie? He must have been really careful around her. So this is what's confusing. Was he lying the whole time and she just didn't know? My throat was dry and it stung. I was gasping for breath and in dire need of water. Sweat was dripping off me and I was so out of breath that I couldn't think. Or he really did take her to go get groceries. They're going to go back and the phone call was faked. Serica could have been, because she's like, I heard screaming. But just doesn't mean she wasn't sharing the delusion of a phone call, right? She just, you know, where am I? I think they did this to lure us out. I looked around and saw that I was in a residential area of Shibuya that the reconstruction teams hadn't gotten around to yet. There were still a lot of abandoned houses. Even during the day, there was little foot traffic, and there were always rumors that at night you could see the vengeful ghosts of the people who died in the quake wandering beneath the streetlights. Because, like, all they had to do was put the delusion into our head of, like, boop, boop, I'm calling Ito. Or, I mean, because I don't think they could use their power on Ito. Well, they could have. No, they could. They don't have to use it on a psychic. Make Ito and, like, you know what I mean? To draw us out. It wasn't that far from Aoba dorm, which meant that during my search, I must have circled back without knowing it. Just as I was about to turn around and head for Miyashita Park or Hekio Academy, I heard a faint sound. A tiny noise, like tearing cloth. I thought I might have imagined it, but forced my aching legs forward to look in the alleyway where I'd heard it. The lights didn't reach into the alley, so I could see nothing but darkness. I could hear the sound of water going drip, drip, drip. Someone's house's pipe must have broke. Some house's pipe must have broke, sorry. I took another step forward into the darkness as if I was being drawn by the sound. Oh my god. Suddenly there were several sharp metallic clangs at my feet. I quickly jumped back, surprised. When my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw that there were paring knives. And all of them were stained dark with something, their blades bent or broken in places. This knife I bought at the convenience store doesn't really cut that well. I felt something cold crawl up my back as I remember Ito's words. It'd be really sad if, like, Ito actually is a good boy and they just, like, what got into his head to make him do horrible things. And he's like, I don't know what I did. Too bad, you're going to jail now. Hey, Yui, are you there? Yui? I took another step forward. There was what felt like a puddle of water at my feet, and I heard a splash. Oh, God, it's blood. It's a puddle of blood. But there was no answer. I took another step forward. The splash got louder. And then I realized that the liquid was sticking to my shoe. Oh, good God. I looked down and saw that my shoe was stained the same dark red color as the knives. This isn't just water? The wind must have changed course, because the moment I had thought that, I smelled something awful. I inhaled a full breath of the stench before I could cover my nose and mouth. Oh my god, is Ito dead? Maybe it's Yui. Oh my god, those are like presents. Ugh. And then I looked towards the source of the smell. When my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I could see it. They're a bunch of bloody presents. Are they arranged like a coffin? Oh my god! Is that her head in a box? Oh my god, did Ito actually cut her up? Oh my god, they put each of her body parts in a box with heart. That's where her chest would be. That is just, oh my god. I mean, it is kind of arranged like a coffin, but no, it's a body. So those are the upper arm and her lower arm and her hand and those oh my god. What is this? Trauma is what it is. It was the unpleasant, but somehow seductive and sweet smell of meat. I could see small boxes laid out in the rough shape of a human body. It looked like some kind of grotesque homemade doll. The dark red liquid was flowing from the boxes. I suddenly felt an urge to throw up. You needed to call Shinjo. How long did it take me to realize that I was staring at what was left of my little sister? Because of that, it took me a little while to notice the man further down the alley staring at the pool of blood. You... Why? He was holding the murder weapon in his hand. It was dripping with blood. Why? Answer me, Ito! Oh! Oh dear! Not what you expected. Ito hopped over what used to be Yui and spoke to me in the same pleasant tone he always used. I feel like someone's controlling him. I don't know. Maybe it is him. I don't know. Why? That's my question. Huh? Why didn't you save her back then? Back then? Why did you abandon her? Abandon who? Who? Senri was suffering so much. I wonder if Senri can control them. I wonder if it's Senri and she is controlling. Like, she's making the other people, like, do things. You know what I mean? Like, but then it's weird. It's almost like, did those people kill themselves? Or did they, well, maybe, but why did she have Ito kill Yui instead of Yui kill herself like everybody else? Maybe she can't control Yui because Yui doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's a kid or something? I don't know. Or this is to torture us? That's interesting. Holy shit. Senri? Senri Minamisawa? Why was he saying her name? Why was Ito talking about Senri? Huh? Oh, huh? Tell me, how did it feel to lose someone you cared about? How does it feel to have nothing but regrets and to know how powerless you are? I felt nothing but confusion. What I was looking at didn't seem real. So I just stood there and stared at Ito's face, dumbstruck. Huh? She was everything to me, and yet you let her die. But now my revenge can be complete. Was she your sister? You were like 11. Ito, what was the relationship between Senri Minamisawa and Ito? What happened between them? And why is Ito the bad guy? I didn't see that coming. But also, how are we getting several more chapters out of this? It didn't look like I'd have time to think about it. Ito's knife got steadily closer to me. Now it's your turn, Miyashiro. Did you bring that sharp knife and anesthetic? If not, it's gonna hurt bad like it did for Yui. Ito smiled a murderer's smile. Oh, so that's how it's gonna be. For some reason, I lost the capacity to think clearly. That was the only thought that was left. I'm not even going to look like a person when he's done with me. Just like Yui. The feeling overwhelmed me. All I could do was stare into Ito's bloodshot eyes and wait for the moment of my death. Takeru? And then I heard what sounded like a scream behind me. It was enough to drag me back to my senses. Were we hallucinating that? That's now I wonder. Obviously, I think Yui might be dead. Or maybe Ito's dead. I don't know. But I think we just hallucinated all that. Kurusu? I looked back and saw Kurusu standing under the streetlight, her shoulders heaving up and down. Oh, no, I guess not. Oh, man, I was really hoping we were hallucinating it. You know what? Damn you, game. Making me not be hallucinating. Aw. I'm really disappointed I wasn't hallucinating. I was kind of hoping we were. Like, because you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden we were like, we're alone. Wait a minute. You know what I mean? And, like, this doesn't make any sense. What? Like, I'm sure they'll, like, reveal stuff, but, like, I don't know. Like, So, like, yeah, and you've got several more chapters to figure out why, but it's Ito. But why? But no, Ito's supposed to be our friend. What the fuck? Right? But now I'm just kind of wondering. It would have just been so much better if she showed up and you were like, so Ito wasn't here? You didn't see that? And she's like, no. And you're like, no, I don't know what to believe. Ito, what are you doing? Her eyes went wide at the knife in Ito's hand. No, stay back. He'll kill you too. Get away from here, Kurusu. I wanted to tell her to get away, but only meaningless noises came out of my mouth. It was like my vocal cords had been paralyzed. Answer me, Ito! See, his eyes are red. He looks possessed. Kurusu did the exact opposite of what I'd hoped she would. She ran into the alley, blocking my way out. And at the same time, she noticed the boxes filled with body parts and the stinking pool of blood. She gasped. What is this? Takuru? Yui! What happened to Yui? She's smiling, but I don't feel like she should be. Tell me, where's Yui? I was finally able to speak, but I couldn't answer her question. It was pathetic, but tears started to well up in my eyes. I couldn't stop them. We're out of time, but Ito answered for me, flipping the knife from one hand to the other to another as he spoke. Be careful, Vice President. Step in one of those boxes and you won't be able to put Yui back together again. Kurusu jumped back and started to shake as she stared at the boxes. This can't be happening. She sank to her knees and reached out toward what used to be Yui, not caring that she'd be soaked with blood. This can't be happening. No. She picked up something long and thin. It had a pretty nail on it, one which had never been manicured, even though its owner was old enough to be interested in makeup. It was Yui's finger. Come on, don't touch it. I put it all together artistically so Yui would look pretty. Why? Why? It's all Miyashiro's fault. This is revenge for how we made Senri Minamisawa suffer. Senri's revenge? But the thing is like, again, we were 11. The fuck is wrong with this bitch? Like, no offense, but what is wrong with her? We were, like, 11. Unless Kawahara's a psychic and he's doing it, she meant everything to me, right? If he's a psychic and he's doing it because he knows that we left her there, because, like, I feel like if you were like an 11 or 12-year-old and you're trapped and some other kids came in, you wouldn't be like, I'm gonna get revenge. I mean, maybe, I guess, if you're that fucked up, but it's kind of like, that's a little far-fetched. You're a child. The fuck is a kid supposed to do? It's not like an adult went in. Or even like a teenager, but even a teenager wouldn't be able to do anything. You know? They were fucking kids. All I'm saying. But if it was someone else blaming us, that would make sense. You know what I mean? That's right. Must have hurt worse for Senri. And even if she wanted to die from the pain of experiments, she couldn't. Yui was lucky. She got to die quick. When I heard those words, something snapped inside me. The fog in my head cleared instantly and my blood started to boil. You! It was a rage I couldn't control. This hurts. He was our friend. The next thing I knew, I'd leapt at Ito with my bare hands. He pointed the knife straight at me as if he'd been waiting for this. I could tell it was pointed straight at my neck and my carotid artery. If I'd been more calm, I would have known better than to jump in without any defenses. But now I couldn't hold back my anger. This is where your die sword comes in handy. He must have thought he had me because a cruel, thin smile formed on Ito's lips. Gah! I knew I was gonna die. I hoped that Kurusu at least might be able to get away. The last thought I had that went through my head was, I'm sorry, Yui. We got you caught up in all this, and you... If heaven was real, that was probably where Yui was going. But I knew without a doubt that I was going to hell. So I'd probably never see her again. Huh? But the moment of my death never came. Instead, I heard Kurusu scream. It was a violent sound, unlike any I'd ever heard from her before. I looked in surprise and saw that she'd grabbed Ito from the side, and the two of them were rolling on the ground. Kurusu!
I won't let you kill him! I won't let you kill Takuru!
The two were rolling around in Yui's blood. And fucking Shinjo shows up and is like, the fuck? I don't get paid enough for this. I know we're over time and this is like a really exciting part, but I'm going to stop here because I'm not 100% sure if this is going to go like a minute or two, if it's another 10 minutes, and like we're already 5 minutes over. So I'm going to stop here. We're going to cock block a little bit. I'm sorry, but like, shit. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.